Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Tuesday, the 5th of August, and this video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation advice whatsoever. So let's get cracking and let's have a look at Apple that has was sold off with the market Friday. Didn't bounce much yesterday with the market, so only a fraction of that. We have established bearish trends. Negative sentiment on the RSI, lower levels here. We have a double top-like pattern here with the valley here that it took out on the 5th on Friday. Still above the cloud, but below all moving averages, indicating lower levels unless it can move back above, at least above 214. But it really needs to close the gap up to 217 here, this gap area that comes back from April. So it looks fairly heavy at the moment, and if it moves also back below the cloud area here, well, 193.25 support could come under pressure. Looking at the actual market, the Nasdaq 100 bounced strongly from support at 22,670 yesterday. Very close to close the gap here up to the bearish engulfing top and reversal pattern there. So let's see if we can do that. If we can do that, well, then next will be Canada also reverse the trend and take out the peak there where it started. You will see sellers took control all from the get-go and throughout the session. So top and reversal pattern there needs to be cancelled. If it takes out 22,670, well, then we could be in for a rough ride lower. Pre-market, really not much has changed. Moving on to the S&P 500, you can see it bounced from the just above the 6,200 key support, and that is key to hold. It kind of closed the gap up to the close of the top and reversal pattern there. Well, then there is a chance we could push higher, and especially if it closes above that bearish candle there, the bearish top and reversal, well, then we could see higher levels. There is no divergence on the RSI, so it indicates we could possibly see higher levels. And if we add a horizontal line, we can see that, it's sticking just above there. So a little bit in the limo, I would say. Looking at the Dow Jones, bounced from the 55 moving average, that it actually took out the minor support there. Has closed this gap. So let's see here the next couple of days. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, but there was massive divergence. So a little bit on in limbo here at the moment. Moving on to the Asian market, we have the Hang Seng that has bounced off the lower rising trend line there. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels. Let's draw a trend line there. So if it RSI also moves back above the trend line and especially above the 60 threshold, well, then we are likely to see higher levels. If it closes above 25,177, then it closed this gap there, then we are likely to see higher levels. On the Nikkei front, bounced from the 786 retracement after dipping lower, and could bounce further. Positive sentiment, no divergence on the RSI, indicating likely higher levels. We can also draw a trend line here on the RSI, currently testing the falling trend line. If it breaks above, and also especially if closer back above 60 threshold, then I think we'll see higher levels above the previous peak there. Moving on to the European markets, EuroStoxx50 has bounced strongly, and also this morning it's opening a tad higher. If it could get back above 5,300, meaning above the 100 moving average and above the cloud, well, maybe then we could see further upside. But for now, negative sentiment, we are in a bearish trend. If it takes out these lows here from the past few days, well, then expect heavy sell-off below 5,100, obviously down to 5,000. But for now, it could stick around in these levels there. If we're just quickly looking at the EU50 CFD, you can see it bounced off the 200 moving average and the 5,174 support. DAX index. DAX index coming up there, also strong bounce, gapping higher this morning. If it can close above 24,000, then there is potential to test this falling trend line here, but it really needs to get back above it to re-establish the bullish trend, because we can see it actually, we are in a bearish trend with lower lows and lower highs, especially lower highs, as you can see there. So keep an eye on that. If it takes out the lows from 1st of August, well, then there could be a push below 23,000. Also here, the CFD, you can see it bouncing, testing the resistance there, 23,920 at the moment, just below the 55 moving average. Moving on to the euro dollar and the forex markets, that euro dollar spiked just above 50% above the cloud. Trading around the 55 moving average. There's negative sentiment on the RSI, so let's see, will it slide back lower here? It could do that. If you're a really short-term trader, what you could do, you can add a Fibonacci retracement to that, also see, okay, where could we actually trade to or slide back to, and then look out for these retracement levels where I will remove it because it's cluttered chart a little bit. If it takes out the peak from yesterday at 116.15, then I think we'll see it pushing higher towards 117. Cable or sterling dollar, still unfolding this top and reversal pattern. We have a shoulder over here, we have a head here, we have a shoulder here, we have a neckline here, and so it's unfolding. It dipped to the 50% of this from the top to the neckline, or from the top head to the neckline, and then you add or project it lower, excuse me, and it reached the 50%. If it slides back and takes out that spike down there at the 113.14, well, then I think we'll see it down to around 130. And moving on to euro sterling, that has reached the 786 retracement of this sell-off there, and is now sliding lower. And here we can also add Fibonacci, which I've done, and it reached the 38.2 retracement. If it takes out that level, the lows from yesterday, I expect it also setting back to 86.58, which is 61.8 retracement. If it takes out the peak there from yesterday, then I think we'll see higher levels towards 88. On the dollar yen, if it will come up here, I don't know if someone's stepping on my my internet line. There we are. Dollar yen seems to be bouncing from the 786 retracement area at 146.93. Dipped a little bit below, but bouncing. Positive sentiment, no divergence on the RSI, indicating it should see higher levels, but for now, massive a big correction there. I think it will bounce further, but we will have some really strong resistance in the area around 149. That could be a little bit of a struggle. Also here, if you're a very short-term trader, what you can do, you can see, okay, let's have a look at Fibonacci levels there, and you can see 61.8 just around the 149 and a quarter resistance there. So that could be a bit of a struggle for dollar yen, but it also means if it takes it out, there's further upside potential. Euro yen, 169.70 support, that is key. If it takes out that, then we're looking at 168.40-45, and the 55 moving average. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, but we have seen a lot of divergence here for quite some time, indicating a trend exhaustion, and we got this top and reversal pattern there. However, if your yen closes back above 172.35, then uptrend could be resumed, with a potential to at least test the this peak area here, 173.93. Aussie yen sliding lower, but support here around 94.84. 80, where we have the 55 moving average coming up. Positive sentiment still on the RSI, could bounce a little bit, but really strong resistance up here around 97.40-45. So if it takes out a 94.84, we could see it dipping to the 61.8 retracement, 93.85. The sterling yen support here, testing it a couple of times, 195.35. If it takes out the lows here from the past few days, and today then expected it could 193.75 support, where we had the 200 moving average. We are already in negative sentiment, and we have a bearish trend established, so it is not unlikely we could see lower levels on sterling yen. On Aussie dollar, I would say range bound a little bit here between 64.15. I always subtract a little bit, and is 64.97. So 65 is the level. 65, a push above 65. Expect uptrend to resume. At least up to the 61.8 retracement or the 786 retracement at 65.45 and 65.80 respectively. If it takes out the lows here, then we are looking at 63.65, possibly lower. On Canadian dollar here, then stand back about to the 38.2 retracement there. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, so I think it will bounce, but the 100 moving average is actually trying to push it back lower. So let's see who is strongest here. Can it get back and take out the peak there from Friday? If it can, well, then there's potential up to around 140. If it slides lower and tests the falling trend line, it could actually dip all the way down to the 61.8 retracement at 136.90. The sterling Canada, well, 182.60 still key support. Dipped below a couple of times. If it takes out the lows here from the 1st of August, then we could see a downtrend resuming towards 181, 180. Swiss francs, excuse me, I have something in my throat apparently. Swiss francs, well, Euro Swiss, strong resistance here in the region around 93.70. 100 moving average coming here, pushing it down. You also see RSI being rejected there, 60 thresholds, negative sentiment on the RSI. I think it will slide back here and push lower, and could again take out the lows there with a push towards 92.20. Close above 93.70, well, then there could be potential up to in the region around 94.5. The dollar Swiss bounced from the 61.8 retracement here at 80.11, and it could push higher. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating likely higher levels, but the 55 moving average is trying to drag it down. Then we have the 100 actually giving it a hard time coming down there, but we could see it, and if it takes out that peak there at 81.73, well, then there we are looking at 82.50 resistance. If it takes out the lows there from yesterday, just around 80, then I think we'll see a push lower towards the 79 again. On the dollar index, well, the bouncing from the 50%, a little bit unusual, but nevertheless, if it can get back above 99, then uptrend potential to 100 spot 32, 100 spot 30, 74. Positive sentiment is supporting that, but also here the 100 moving average will give it a hard time. And if it takes out the lows from today, then I think we'll see at least down to around 98, which is 61.8 retracement, possibly lower. And so a little bit of a limbo there. Moving on to gold and the metals in general, we have gold that has bounced to 61.8 retracement and testing this lower rising short-term trend line there. Little bit of limbo. We are still in positive sentiment, but there's massive divergence on the RSI. But nevertheless, if we can get gold back above 3,400 and RSI back above a 60 threshold, then I think we'll see a push higher towards 3,500. But it could be a little bit of struggle. However, we have all moving averages rising. We have the 100, we have the 55. So the underlying bullish support is there. Silver also bounced from the 786 retracement of this uptrend there at 36.19 and has bounced to the and then we can take the other one from this sell-off here. We have bounced 38.2 retracement just around 37.50. I think it will bounce further, still positive sentiment on the RSI, and it bounced also from the 55 moving average, and I think we see it bouncing up to stronger resistance there at 38.25, where we also have this 61.8 retracement. Platinum bounced from the 55 moving average and the cloud area. RSI bounced from the 40 threshold, and I think it will resume uptrend. If it takes out the peak from yesterday, then I think we'll see it push up to 61.8 retracement, just around 1400, unless it takes out 1261 lows here, and then we are looking at 1200. Copper, on the other hand, a little bit quiet here the past few days after this massive sell-off that ended last week. If it takes out the lows there for 33, then I think we'll see it down to around 400. I think we will see it bouncing a little bit towards 464, 465, where we have the 200 moving average kind of putting a lid on it. If it can get back above that level, well, then there is potential up to 495. Onto the energy market, and I would say it's caught in a big range here. The WTI crude oil between 64.70 and 70.5. It's a big range, but that's what it seems to be with the volatility we have at the moment. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating we should see higher levels, but for now it is a bit under pressure, so I will stay away if it was me. Same with Brent Crude, obviously 68 to the downside and 73.63 to the upside. European nat gas sliding back after being rejected at the 55 moving average and the 786 retracement there at 35.37, sliding back, and I think it will push lower. Negative sentiment and the moving averages declining, I think will push it lower. It needs to close above 36, 32 to establish a bullish trend. The US nat gas just keeps sliding lower, and I think we'll see it test the lows here at 285 fairly shortly, possibly also 275. On the yield side, interest rate, US 10-year Treasury yields hovering around the 420 support there. If it takes out the lows today at 420 to be exact, then I think we will also see it take out the 417 support and could dip to the 412 that is back from May earlier this year. On the European yields, excuse me, we have the EU 10-year sliding lower. Also this morning continues to slide lower. Key support at 258 that should be observed. But then we also have the 55 moving average giving a little bit of support there, but could slide lower or be caught range bound here. Could also be seen, or the bigger range down to 254. So that will be key here towards the next. I think we'll bounce a little bit. UK 10 sliding lower below the 61.8 retracement. I think we could see it testing the 786 retracement at 447. Finally, on the Bitcoin, Bitcoin bounced from the 112,000 support and could keep bouncing unless it takes it out, and then we are suddenly in a different situation. Then we really have established a bullish trend. Bearish trend if it takes out the lows from over the weekend there at 112,000. Let's see there, yeah, 112 exactly spot on. Dipped a little bit, 111,900, so 111,900, a little dip down there. Ethereum that also bounced, still in a bullish, well, slightly bullish trend, but it actually took out these, so a little bit of limbo. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. What I will do, I will add a Fibonacci to these levels there. There we are. So we're actually at the 61.8 retracement at the moment. Can it get back above the 3,800? Then I think we'll see uptrend to resume. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you again tomorrow.